You're going to have to do the intro because I already forgot how it starts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Damned If We Do podcast with your host, Jessica Spate, and the lovely...
the extremely talented Jasper Peter Pershing. Hello.
Oh, beautiful. How are you today, Jasper?
You know, it's so funny. I actually wanted to quickly talk about an experience I had, and this relates to really all of our previous episodes, but I got a job, which I ended up quitting the next day. So I got a telemarketing gig. I go in, it's like a time warp to the early 2000s. It's like weird cubicles. Like, even the dashboards of our screens, like it's like an old Google formatting looking type of shit.
What the heck?
And it's my first day, and I was hired, and that same day they were like, cool, you're going to start doing it. And I was talking about training.
Talk about red flag.
And only when I asked about training did they go, oh yeah, training. And then I got a packet, and they were like, so do you have any questions? And I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to read the packet. I asked about 2 questions. They were like, okay, it's time we get you on the floor. And there was also one other woman with me, so that was fucking training.
That's crazy.
So it's cold calling for a house sort of gig. So we're calling randos, being like, do you want to buy new floors? Which, of course, nobody does.
No one wants to buy new floors from a random cold call.
Because there was no fucking training, didn't know that you're not allowed to close. So after probably 50 people just telling me no, this one man was like, yeah, actually I have some pipes that need remodeling or something. And I was like, great, oh my God. And by the way, I get considered a sale if the customer confirms they want a free consultation.
Whoa, okay.
So I don't actually have to get their credit card, but as long as I get them to say yes to that. Agree to a time. So I get this guy to agree to a time for someone who I have no idea to go over to their house and look at their pipes. I then tell my boss, oh, hey, cool, I got a sale, and I close. And they're like, you're not supposed to close, you're new. And then they got on the call, and they ended the call, and they were like, yeah, so the estimate was only $500 worth of repairs. We only do consultations of $3,000 and up.
What?
And
that sounds ridiculous.
Nobody fucking told me that, but so do I still get the sale? And they're like, no. Mind you, they have this big screen, and basically it tells everybody and, like, alerts in this loud noise when somebody gets a sale.
What is this, a fake stock
competitions?
Market? Yeah, what the hell?
And there's this spin wheel, and if you get a certain amount of sales that day, you get to spin the fucking little wheel, and it'll be like, $50 more for you! Or spin again.
Wait, so is this commission job? This job is by commission?
Hourly plus commission.
Okay.
I'm like, cool, so now I know. I eventually get this other person, probably after 10 more calls. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. This one guy, and I told Jessica this. I go, hi, my name is Jasper. And he goes, what? You sound gay. I don't want to talk to you. And I started laughing so hard. I literally was like, I couldn't stop, and I was just looking around, and I was like, this is so strange.
Right, like, am I pranked? Like, what is this?
Yeah. And I was like, you guys, like, everyone here has, like, 4 teeth, they're chain smoking, they're coughing everywhere, there's no fucking windows. I'm just laughing my ass off at this point, because I'm like, this is silly as fuck. But so past that, I finally get this woman, she's like, oh yeah, I want my yard replaced or something, and I'm like, cool, just so you know, we only do $3,000 and up. My manager comes over as well as my boss. My boss picks up the phone, mumbles like 3 words, I don't even know, and hangs up, turns towards my manager and goes, tell him the deal. He then walks away. My manager looks at me and goes, can you pronounce her name? And I was like, no, but it didn't come up in the call. Because I realized if I go, for instance, if I called you and I went, hi, Jessica.
Yeah.
This is Jasper. Then people get sussed out because they're like,
why do you know my shit? Yeah.
Which, of course, I have all that information. I know your address, I know your zip code, I know your fucking middle name.
That's so creepy.
I'm not going to say any of that, so I stopped. like, no, but it didn't come up in the conversation. And he goes, she's Indian. And I'm like, well, okay. And he goes, so they're cheap. We don't sell to Indians. And mind you, this person, while they weren't black, they also weren't white. There were barely any white people in that telemarketing firm. But I just was like,
where is
really?
What are we doing
and, like, if
here?
you're a person of color, like, can you not have some self-awareness? Like,
yeah.
And this isn't a joke. This person isn't going, so we don't, which would
right.
still be stupid. But, like, I'm like, no, he was serious.
This is reality for a lot of people.
So if you see their name and it sounds or looks Indian or Arab, don't bother.
Whoa.
I just
That's just straight up prejudice.
Literally, I did not understand. And then once again, I said, so did I get the fucking sale? And they're like, no.
Wow.
And I'm like, but I quit.
What an insane experience, Jasper. I don't even know, like, how that is even still happening in 2021, honestly. Or 2023. Oh, my God.
It's like this is a deep cut.
Yeah, like, honestly. Like, what the heck? Like,
which I thought was a horrible business model because, let's just take away the fact that, like, they're assuming all Indians are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But what if a woman who's not Indian marries an Indian man and takes his last name? Are we then assuming that because she has an Indian last name, even though she's not Indian, that we can't sell to them?
It's just...
But she's not Indian. She's just married an Indian person. So if you're telling me that Indians are... like, we have to call everyone because you don't know what fucking mixed race households.
And that's why racism is illogical. It makes no sense. And it's not supposed to because it's just stupid and prejudice.
It was really stupid.
And based on stereotypes.
Yes.
Whoa.
And then I thought, what would you have said if I was Indian?
Right. Like, what if I came into your door knocking? Yeah. You wouldn't have given me a job then.
Or would you have gone, you're kind, we don't sell to... I'm like, so what would you... I'm just like, started to ponder all these things, but it's above... I'm not going back. No. So anyways, that was my...
Jeez.
I think that was 2 days ago now. But yeah.
It's just so crazy. It's just... I just can't wrap my head around it. I just can't.
Yeah. So... But just so you know, telephone companies sell your number to marketing firms to call. So
Jasper, I've literally been trying so hard to get my number offline. You can find everything. Yeah. Everything.
Funny because I would get a lot of people being like, take me off your list. And I literally would tell them, I can't. As soon as somebody hangs up, another number's ringing.
Right, so, it just keeps going. I wish you would have taken like a selfie before you left.
Oh no, because they make you put your cell phones in these lockers.
Jasper, that's a jail. What were you doing? Where was this?
You can't have your phone. You can't have pens. You can't have food, and you can only have water.
But you can have cigarettes. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what is this?
Fuck,
I'm sure it's the pens because people have been like stabbing each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the topic of today. Today we were going to talk a little bit about friendships and about forging your own path as an artist.
Jessica,
what?
We're not talking about friendships.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Manifesting your
my god, I fucking... Alright, let's back it up. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about manifesting your dream reality and forging your own path. If we want to start off, Jasper, like, I'm just trying to think of ways...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I actually had a question for you.
Oh, you did have
I want to define a word, but not like in the truest definition, but in our own. So I actually don't know what I think when I hear the word manifesting.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one to start off with.
I've never really sat down and said, now I'm going to think about my future. I'm sort of always am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm trying to be in the moment, but you get what I mean. But so when I think of like manifestation, outside of what it has become in the last couple of years, really since COVID, I feel like that word has taken off.
It really has.
For better or for worse, whatever.
Depends.
But I think it's believing in yourself.
Mm.
And so I am manifesting my dream reality. And it's hard because tying that along with forging your own path, it's like, it can be one thing to think about what you want, but then I can struggle with making that an actuality.
Yeah.
And do I have to play the long game? Like, when are these things going to happen? Also, I feel like I can manifest something and then it doesn't happen, but that's because what I actually needed to manifest was lying underneath that.
Oh.
Which has happened to me. Like, I remember, I just, for instance, used to really manifest finding a man, right? Like, I was like, this is my season, this is my time, this is what I need. And what do you know? I got that man, and what do you know? It was.
I mean, that's the thing, too, with manifestation, like you're saying. It's not always something that it's not always what you want. Sometimes it's the things that you need in order to sort of move forward in your life. Because I do think, just like we were talking about last week, that whole idea of you need to sort of be ready for when that thing that you love or that you want in your life, you have to be able to meet it where it's at. And if you're not fully there, then you're not going to be able to, like, take that opportunity. So, you know, the connection you have with that person, from my point of view, it's like, you know, learning things and growing as a human and learning about what you like and what you don't like. And I think that's part of the manifestation process. I feel like I'm very of the same boat with you. Like, I don't think you have to be constantly thinking about the things you want in your future in order to be manifesting. But I do think there needs to be that intention always that's present in how you go about your everyday. But I always want to be doing one thing every day to get to that point in my life. And I think sometimes...
That's so real.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's something as small as just putting your name onto, like, I don't know, like Indeed, or like talking to someone about a type of job that you would want, or I don't know, doing some searching. Who knows? It could be something so small.
So then that makes me wonder, if you don't have an immediate answer, that's fine. And you might have multiple, but what is a path that you think you are forging, that you think you are pushing for right now?
I think for me right now, a big fat that I'm forging is financial independence and freedom for my parents, and, you know, being able to afford all the things all the basic things in my life on top of whatever else I need. And, you know, that comes with life. I mean, if you're in your 20s, you're probably still relying on your parents to some degree. I would even say in your 30s, you might still be relying on them. But something that I really want is that sort of like financial freedom and independence. And I think it's happening slowly but surely. I'm reading a book called Money Magic. You know, I got my little journal where I'm writing what I'd want to do with the money that I get. You know, things like that. Sometimes I even write myself little checks, like fake checks that have like money on it, and it's like signed to me. And
So cool.
and I like send them to myself. It's crazy.
That's so cool. I had no idea that you did that.
Yeah, it's my little secret. But like, I want to share it now because I feel like that's really helpful on the path of manifesting things that you want in your life.
Do things come in seasons for you? Because
Absolutely.
the summer was like horrible.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yes. Well, okay, yeah, keep going, but I agree.
Yeah, my summer was just bad for like every reason. I mean, obviously there were some small highlights, but I just think I was struggling so much and I was so lost. And then not a week ago, even, things started happening. I'm getting these job offers that some are shit, as I explained earlier. But like, now here we are. And I'm kind of like, okay. And so what I really think I want to say is like, go with that momentum.
That's
but
real.
What were you gonna say?
I have had to work through so much fear and self-doubt throughout all of this. And the only thing that I feel like has helped me is like, first of all, crying, and then and then like writing in my journal, and then just doing it. Like shutting my brain off, shutting that like really aggressive sort of like overthinking part of my brain off, and just getting up and going to do it. Like earlier this year, I did like a short film, which I'd done like one short film in college, This one was like, I was hired and everything, and it was all good. But I was so scared because I'm like, I've never been on film. I'm not a dancer. And it was a dancing part. And I was like really late to one of them, like to the one where I had to actually show up and be on camera. And I was just like, fuck, like I'm gonna miss this chance to like add this to my repertoire of things I've tried. So I was just like, you know what, Jessica? I did my makeup, I got my clothes together. I like went out and bought a bunch of costumes for it. So I'm like, let me just get my ass over there. I was like 2 hours late, Jasper. Don't do this, y'all. If you're on a film set, never be late, because film people are cuckoo.
Yeah, they are.
It's all about time. It's all about the day. It's all about. So this was my personal journey. All right. It ended up being fine. It ended up being really, really good. And I even got like a speaking part in it. And so I feel like if I hadn't worked through that fear of being seen, of trying something different, of possibly looking like an ass walking in late as fuck, I wouldn't have been able to, to see that opportunity through. So I feel like that is such a good point in all of this.
Summer really for me was like, who are you if you don't have work? Because you don't have work.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? How are you going to stay mentally okay? And kind of what you had said earlier, Jessica, a lot of crying and routine and finding routine, including September, because I was hot as hell because of global warming. And it was also very humbling because I felt like the world was going back to work,
Yeah.
And I wasn't. And I just was so lost because of that. That was really hard. And now I'm in this season of just say yes. Because I actually said to myself earlier, I kind of want to fill my plate. And it didn't for once come from a place of desperation. It just came from a place of being like, I think I'm ready.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know for what, but I think I can handle a couple more things.
Oh, my goodness.
It is an active battle to be able to do that. But now they're like, cool, well, let's go. Let's see if you can do it. Because that's a real thing. You manifest, but it's not just going to make it easy. Then you have to do it.
You got to get out there and do the shit. Yeah.
And that, to me, is difficult, but also so rewarding when you end the day going, I did these things.
It's so true. It is so true. And that's why, that whole thing we were talking about earlier about being prepared for your manifestations is so important, because if you drop the plate, there's always ways to pick it back up. But you want to be ready for it. You want to feel like everything that you've been, planning and asking for from the universe, from, wherever you feel manifestations come from.
And I think it's really interesting because I come from the school of thought where things just happen because they happen, not for a reason, not because they've been ordained. They're just happen. That is always how I exist. So then it's funny when I say things out loud. Okay. And then they still happen. So, I'm not saying it's perfect because clearly manifestation has a role in my life. Yeah. Well, deal with it. This is life. But I just think, even if you don't have as personal of a connection to that word, it still is in your life in one way or another. As I said, it's a belief. And if you believe in yourself, things are going to happen.
Yeah, they really, really will. And I think, that the idea you have about manifestation, I think, is real. Things just kind of are happening. Manifestation is almost like putting out a little, I don't know, a little feeler and being like, okay, all these things are happening and I specifically want these things to happen. So if those things could come to the front, please come. And that's how it kind of happens. Then you kind of attract the thing that's already happening into your life. And that's why suddenly you'll talk about something one day. I don't know, you'll talk about a makeup brand. These advertisements, honestly, but that's because you listen to us. Yeah. And then suddenly the next few months, it'll start happening. And you're like, what the fuck?
I know. And this is the struggle of manifestation. I'm like, when is it a manifestation or when is it random? Because it's I thought about this thing a year ago or a couple months ago. Am I allowed to continue this belief of manifestation, or do I just go, shut up, you're being stupid? But as we're realizing it's a belief and it is putting out feelers, because all of a sudden something will fall into your lap. I just swallowed air. And I feel like...
I felt it too. So just letting you know that, right. I'm here with you.
Because I have a really dry throat right now.
Well, where's your cough drop?
Yeah, so I will need one after this. I made out with someone like 2 nights ago, and I think like...
Don't tell me they gave you something, I swear.
Well,
wait, didn't you say you're feeling sick?
Yeah, well, this happens to me every every day of life. But also, whenever I make out with someone, like, yeah, I'm like, okay, like, we're not gonna link again because, like, our germs ain't germing.
They're not germing. No, that's a thing, though. Like, you have to have the same, like, bio
yeah, exactly.
film or whatever.
Our little bugs have to fuck each other.
Or else they're gonna fight. Yeah.
Exactly, and they're fighting. They're fighting.
Ugh, I'm just waiting for someone to come into my space, man. I feel like I've been repelling. I've been repelling love.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing, though. But yeah, back to that. I mean, like, I have affirmations that I try to keep around me all the time so that I'm always making sure I affirm myself. And that's one thing about it. Jasper? I'm sorry, Jasper's neck massaging. And, I think, okay, here's one thing that I wanted to ask you, because this is something I've been thinking about.
For me, it was you groping the air.
I didn't even realize
Oh my god.
As you can see, me and Jasper are so unaware of ourselves.
Very hand-driven people.
Mm-hmm.
During the majority of the summer when I wanted a job, I didn't speak on it. It was all in my mind. I was just like cowering away in sadness.
Yeah.
But then recently, since I've literally been verbalizing things, it's been happening really quickly. And so I feel like there's different levels of manifestation.
Totally.
There's different kinds. And I've been having I want to say I've been having short-term ones because, like, it's been like a week and then like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And so honestly now my goal is just to speak on things more because yes, there's a level of in my head. Mm-hmm. And honestly, a lot of forging the path. When I really think down the line, I have kept in here.
Yeah.
But clearly in able to get there, I need to start with these steps. And the steps require me to speak.
Yeah, verbalize it. I think that's a big one. When you don't verbalize it, even if it's just to yourself in your room, it could be to somebody else who you trust. And like, I think a big part of manifestation too is realizing when there's some people who are very scared about having to share the stage with people or something, or
when it's like we're all
in the same game. And just like Issa Rae says, don't look up, look to the people around you, because those are the people you're going to be collaborating with. I feel that right now, I have probably done the most creative work I've done in the last year than I have prior to this by coming back home and living home.
Yes.
And so it is a big sacrifice that I'm making, not to have my own space, not to be able to sort of leave anytime I want to all the time.
I know. Does your mom ask where you're going?
No, she doesn't ask anymore. She used to. But, you know, there's certain things where she's like, you know, make sure to bring back these things, or make sure to, you know, she gives me lists and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not opposed to it. Obviously, it's my family. But it's part of being home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. My parents were like, oh, where are you going? Like, I want to join. And I'm like, no.
Last thoughts. You know, I love manifestation. I think if it's something you want to get into, pick up a journal, write shit down, and trust that it's going to happen. Period.
Yeah, and I'll say it does come in waves, and that's okay too. If right now you're not in a season of feeling your manifest energy, it will come back. And when it does, let it.
Yeah.
It won't shame you for taking some time off.
No, not at all. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Bye.